Welcome back to our Business Partner tutorial series. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at setting up and managing clients. So from the dashboard, which is where you'll always land when you start the program, click on the Clients button. Here you'll have a list of all the active clients. You can also set this status to inactive if you have any inactive clients. In this particular version, I do not have any inactive clients. So we're seeing 5 of 5 clients here, and from here we can go into one of the clients, and at this client's page, the navigation here shown as icons are actually, these are things you can do besides just navigate, but this plus represents adding a new client. The plus with a duplicate behind it is duplicating a client. So if you've got a client that has very similar attributes, you could duplicate it and then just make the subtle changes that need to be made. The magnifying glass is the search for a client, and once you get a lot of clients in the program, you may find that beneficial, but we can also do that from the list view. And then you can delete a client, and the delete will work from wherever you are. So at this case, we're at a client named Chapman Construction. If we wanted to delete that client, we would click here on the X, and we would get a confirmation to, are we sure we want to do that, and we could say yes or no. Once we're here on the client page, we just have basic information about the client, company name, type of client. We do have these radio buttons that represent your preferences for reports. Since we have multiple phone numbers, again, you can label these phone numbers. These fields are editable, so you can call the phone an iPhone or a cell phone or a mobile phone or whatever suits you, or primary phone or preferred phone, whatever you want to list it as. But these radio buttons will determine which of these phone numbers will show on your reports. And so we have the mailing address, physical address, and information about each. Then you have your default settings, and these defaults are based on decisions you made on the preferences page of the dashboard. So again, you're only setting this as the default for this particular client. You could still, at the job level, once you create the job, you could change the terms or the markups or any of these options. So if you do a 50-50 terms where you collect 50% to put the job into production schedule and 50% prior to delivery, or a 2 payment terms option, then you could also, at the job level, once you created a job, go in and set it to, net terms or 25, 75, whatever, 33, 33, 34, whatever you wanted to set it to at that job level. And this optional field here needs a little bit of an explanation. So this is what's going to show on the reports that you print out, whether that be an estimate or a proposal. And it is the byproduct of you having made the decisions when you created the terms in the default setup. So it is text that is created from the decisions you make. This field allows you to override that. So if you don't like the way this sounds, 50% deposit required to place job into production schedule, balance due prior to delivery. And you'll see how that works when we go through the default setup. If you don't like the result, the final result of what's going to print on your estimates or proposal, you can override it here. Now, once you override it, it could technically be wrong. You could say something completely wrong. You could choose a set of terms that were named 50-50, and then you could come down here and type in that you want to collect 33% down and 33% at delivery and 34% at completion, or anything like that, and it can just be wrong. So this is the byproduct of having filled in some fields. So it will always be right. You can also choose at the default setups different types of payments, whether it's a single payment, 2 payment, 3 payment, things like that. These markups, again, are just the defaults. When you create a new client or you create a new job for this client, then these will be the markups. And again, if you want to change them for every job or just on occasion, you can do that. This copies into the job and then can be edited there at the job level. In this case, you see there's lots of, or 4 different types of markups in here, and you could have as many as you want. It's unlimited. And then the taxes and how they're handled, and from state to state there's a lot of variations there of what is taxed, and so we've tried to accommodate every state's different tax situations. And so some people are taxing on material only, some on labor only, some on both, some on everything but installation or delivery or both. So we've given you the ability to apply the taxes to the appropriate portions of the project. And as you can imagine, because we've done that, the price for the very same job with an in-house door as opposed to an outsourced door would be very different, because on an in-house door, the only thing that would be taxed for somebody in the state of Tennessee, where materials only and no labor are taxable, the materials that make up the doors would be taxable, but the labor would not. But if you purchased those doors from an outsourced supplier, then the entire door cost would then be considered materials. So that could change the price drastically. So you can really see all the implications, and I think that's a very powerful feature. Then the last tab is simply jobs, and it'd be the, if you had 10 jobs in here, there'd be 10 jobs listed, and you can actually go to the job by clicking on the gold triangle. You can also add a job from here, but we don't necessarily recommend that. We would say that you would add your jobs here at the jobs button, and we'll show you how to do that later. But you would typically use the jobs button to add a job, not come to a client first. It's 2 steps when you could do it in one. And so that pretty much wraps up what we could do here, or what we would use the clients area for, to add and manage and edit clients. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video, which will be the cabinet setup, and we'll start going through all of the different components that are part of the cabinet setup. It's not just limited to cabinets. It's the doors, the drawer fronts, the drawer boxes, all the different hardware, accessories, many different things are part of the cabinet setup. And so it'll probably be one of the longer videos that I do. Door setup in and of itself will probably have to be separated out, because it's a very complicated one compared to everything else in the program. So again, thank you for watching this video, and look forward to seeing you on the next video for cabinet setup.